Carl?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. First
Sure.
of all, with the purchase of the property, is that really a done deal, or can the owner, the current owner, appeal that? I guess that's a legal question.
I'll answer it best I can, and if the legal beagle over here can add to it, fine. The owner of the property has a right to protest and to appeal the findings of the Commissioner's Court. At that time, then I think it is remanded to a court of law, and then it proceeds from that point on. Am I correct?
Yeah, either side can appeal the result. So the district can appeal it and the landowner can appeal it.
Okay. And then once it is a done deal and the court is going to decide an amount, is that right?
It depends. What happens is if it is appealed by either side, again, the district may appeal it. There is a trial, just like a normal lawsuit in a year from now or whatever, 18 months, 13 months, something like that. And if someone files for a jury, then the jury decides. If no one files to have a jury, then the judge decides. And it will be Judge Claudia Laird in County Court at Law Number 2 in Conroe. She's the only judge in Montgomery County that handles condemnation. So it will either be a bench trial to the Honorable Judge Laird or a jury in front of Judge Laird. That's who will decide.
And that will decide the final amount that is paid?
It will decide a final amount. There's also, I don't want to say too much in a public setting. There's other issues that could be raised if they're done correctly, but the gist of it is to decide the amount.
Okay. So when that amount is decided, then the board will then again vote to see if we still want to do that. Is that true? Or do we have to go forward because we've already committed?
Well, the district has voted to acquire the property, so we're locked and loaded on that. And there's any number of circumstances and things that could happen in the future that the board might want to revisit things, but they've voted, they've made the determination, and we're in the middle of a condemnation, and it's something that the board is doing. And keep in mind, the Blackburn wanted a lot more money than he received, but the commissioners awarded more money than we think is due. So if it gets appealed, we're going to be going to get a bunch of money back.
Or it can go the other way, though, right?
It could.
And if it does, we're still committed to it.
Yes.
If the court says it's $2 million, we're committed to it.
We can appeal that.
Yeah.
We don't have to accept the $2 million.
Well, I don't think we can talk legal strategy in too great a detail in this.
Well, no, we haven't, but it's my opinion that we don't have to accept it unless we want to. We can vote at that point, and that'll depend on what the circumstances are financially.
There's legal standards for if and when a governmental entity can abandon a condemnation project midway, so those would apply. So we would have to, if that was something that ultimately wanted to be done, we'd have to follow the law on that. So it's a technical thing. But I feel good about our case. We did very well at the hearing. They got less than a quarter of what they were asking for, and if they appeal it, or we may appeal it, I'm going to do my best to get it for even less. And I'm very good at what I do.
And then a very different question. Is it possible that Park area can become a golf course?
No, not if the mud owns it. We are prohibited from owning a golf course.
Well, Jack, if I could be slightly more precise, we can actually operate a golf course, but we can't sell bonds to fund it. So you would have to have enough non-bonded money to do it. So that may be the same thing as saying you can't do it. But but you can. It can be a golf course, but it would have to be funded by the community through the MUD, through fees or whatever. Because the only other mechanism a MUD has is issuing bonds, and they can't use bonds to operate a golf course.
All right. Kurt?